the rhythm of a new birth. We are a tribe, we are a tribe, listen to the heart, we are a mother. We are a tribe, awakening. Listen to the rhythm of a new birth.
Hi, everyone. A good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on the time zone you are tuning into. And since the first one to say it was Terry, I'll say hi, Terry, and everyone else. Glad to see you. I'm going to use the camera off here just to say hi. I saw people were saying hi to each other a little early on if you joined early. Now I can see you all. If you want to turn on your camera, of course, I'd love to see you. If you prefer to be private and keep things hidden, that's okay too. I'll be doing most of the talking anyway, since I will be your teacher for today's session. Great to see all of you. Gio, I see you. Eva, we got Prabha, Felicity, we got Christine, Brenda. I love the headband. We got MacBook Pro, Max, DePatrizia. So good to see the iPhones are joining as well. My name is Jason Mark Campbell. I will be your teacher, your guide for today's session. But before we get into that, I love making this a little interactive. So yes, I will be making you guys interact on the session today. And the first thing I want to know is where's everybody tuning in from? I have this lovely little world map. And if you just go into the chat and type in which city, country, wherever specific you want to be on where you are, we get to see where from around the world people are joining in. I'm expecting a lot of Europeans to be here, probably a lot of people from the Americas as well, maybe a few of you tuning in from Asia. If you're one of the New Zealanders or Australians on the call, I tip my hat. It is quite late in the night for you, but I'm seeing some people out in the Philippines. And of course, I'm putting my own dot in the map. I am reporting here from Bali, Indonesia. I believe I'm seeing some South Africa coming in. We got some Italy, Spain. We got France, Germany, Belgium, Austria, all the way to Sweden, the UK. I'm seeing, I believe, some Arizona, some Florida, then everything around the New England area of the Americas. I think from Chicago to New Hampshire, from New York, maybe people on the Canadian coast as well. Scotland just popped into the chat. This is the coolest thing. Now, I only learned I could do this the other day, but look at that. Oh, so we could even zoom in, kind of see where people are tuning in from. Look at that. Everywhere across the UK, Europe, we got some lovely people. The Americas here, you look at that. We got some people from all over Florida. I believe that's some Tampa, maybe some Orlando popping in. And just right here outside of Chicago, it did seem like it was nearby, so called that. And it's always wonderful to see a global tribe come together. Now, We do these events. We love doing this. We love connecting with the people who join them, but we're always curious about who's tuning in and if this is something you're completely new to, or if you're one of the people that we call our SOMIs. And so I'm going to have you use the one, two, three. Are you absolutely new to Soma Breath and you're joining here for one of the first times on an event with us? If that's the case, type in one. If you're a regular SOMI, you've joined a lot of our Breathe Together Sundays, you've had a chance to experience a lot of cool Soma Breath work, you can type in two. And of course, my existing instructors, I always give you guys a little bit of homework when we start. If you're already an instructor, make sure to rename yourself with your name dash instructor. So that way, whenever you put in some comments, we know that it's coming from one of our Soma Breath instructors. And we always love when you guys get to pop in, be a supporter, get a chance to get some more knowledge for yourselves. And all for you regulars, glad to see you on a session that's going to be a little different than our usual Breathe Togethers that happen. And for all you new people, well, look, we're going to cover a lot of material. We're going to have a lot of fun doing it, and you're going to learn an incredible methodology in the process. And with that, that is a bit of the topic we're going to have for today. Is we're going to be looking how you can combine our techniques with your existing modalities to get better and faster results for your clients. And that kind of brings me to a follow-up question from knowing who's on the call, which again, I'll ask you to use the chat. This one, I'll ask you to kind of write it out and it'll give us an idea to see what are some of the stories of what brought you here today. So do you have an existing practice? And if so, as a light worker, a coach, perhaps a therapist, maybe working in health and fitness, I'd be curious to know what's your background, or perhaps you're working in corporate, you've never done anything in the holistic field, and this is kind of a new thing for you. I'd love for you to type in new thing for me if that's what it is, or for anything that you're doing right now, that'll give me kind of an idea of who's in the room. So, what is your current practice? What is it that you're doing? Because I usually see two major types of people who come to sessions like this. Some of you with your existing practice, you've heard of breathwork, you've probably experienced breathwork, and you're thinking, I'm trying to find a modality that can really help my clients get breakthroughs when it comes to any kind of emotional blocks, a methodology that works fast, is effective, but maybe choosing one of the methods out there that is proven to be effective, has steps into the types of journeys you want to create and effects you want to create. So breathwork has been something you've been exploring, and we're definitely going to dive into what we can do here. On the other side, I have a ton of people who join here who are working from corporate. And as such, you're usually someone who's doing really well. Like you're ticking all the boxes, but something feels off. It's almost like you're seeing the climate of the world right now and you're thinking, I'm putting all my blood, sweat, and tears into doing a lot of work in this corporate environment, and there's something missing. I'm not quite sure, but it's not fulfilling, and I know I'm meant to do more. And if that's you, know that we're going to talk about a lot of people who have been in similar situations as you as well, have incorporated breathwork and taken a path of becoming breathwork instructors as well, and seeing the kind of success that has come their way. And look, as you guys are answering these questions, I'm actually looking at a bit of a stream. I feel like I'm looking at the Matrix here. And I see here some people, specialized education, trauma, intervention for youth and delinquents. Oh my God, Kieran, you're going to have an amazing time. I think you're writing this out in French, but I hope you can understand me in English. I can definitely understand you in French. Reiki sound vibrational worker added to my sessions, and yoga. Brenda, yes, you're going to love the music background if you're working with sound already. It's such a key part of what makes Soma Breath unique. So we'll definitely talk about that. Geo, a new thing for me. I'm from corporate side and sales, not familiar. Look, I'm someone who has much love for the profession of sales, but if you're seeing that there's something more to do, I will say any of the background you have in sales definitely can support somebody becoming an instructor as well. So I don't think any of your paths has been something that held you back from what you need. It's actually going to be something that supports you on the path that you want to go on. And so we're going to have a lot to cover today. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'd be curious. We've sent something over for everybody before the session today. And it was actually a chance to experience breathwork with Soma Breath before. So my question I would have for everybody here is, who had a chance to do the breathwork session, the Master Your Breath session? This was a 60-minute journey that we sent for everybody who registered for absolutely free. And it was one of the most powerful sessions you can do to truly get a taste and an experience of what Soma Breath. Prabha, glad to hear that you got a chance to do it. How was it? Feel free to share. Janita, obviously, yeah. You guys will get to keep that. This is a gift from Soma. It's our most powerful journey, and it really gets you into an alignment to see if you are trying to find direction, clarity, get into a flow state, and seeing how your path can unfold when you're in true alignment with yourself. It's a powerful session. It really uses a lot of the Soma Breath methodology. So you get to have a feeling of what Soma Breath can do. And honestly, it's one of the coolest things. So if you haven't had a chance to do it, look, it's in your hands. I will think that after you learn everything around the science and everything we covered today, you'll be very excited about giving it a try as well. And so look, a lot of your stories talking about coming in from corporate, expanding your existing practice. I have so many people that have come through a similar path as you. And I wanted to highlight a few of my like really cool instructors that I've had a chance to connect as I've been a part of Soma Breath for over a year now. For any of you who are familiar with Lisa in Dubai, Lisa has become a transformational coach, recently graduated. For those of you who know her, you know her story where she started from a corporate background, had that kind of itch being like, this doesn't feel fully right. And as soon as she experienced the breath work with Soma, she was like, I want to go all in. She bought the program. She got into graduating within 4 weeks, hosting her first breathwork sessions, and within a few months after that was able to quit her full-time job and become a full-time breathwork instructor. Has been building her following, creating regular classes. Obviously life threw a few curveballs. Being in Dubai, obviously some things shifted there, but having the power of her breath in her hands made sure that she stayed regulated and continued pressing forward, and she's having an incredible experience as an instructor. So we're very, very excited about her. We always celebrate her and love to feature her. We always have Piotr. For those of you who are maybe more from a fitness background, Piotr came from fitness, started experiencing the breath work, has led some of our sessions, which was really around getting fit and understanding how mastering the breath can get you so much of the benefits on your health and wellness. And so maybe some of you have had a chance to try his Breathe Together Sunday sessions. An incredible individual. And again, he's going to be hosting some retreats in Barcelona. And so we're very excited about his progress. And more recently, I got to know Monica out in Poland. She was one of the first Soma Breath instructors in Poland. And the coolest thing here is right now, there's so many different people that are popping up as breathwork instructors, but Monica, being a Soma Breath instructor, is still the most premium coach, trainer who charges the most for her sessions because she has the technology and the reputation behind her. So she's absolutely doing incredible. She's even hosting a retreat in the coming months that's going to be happening in Poland in Polish. So for those of you who are speaking Polish who would like to go on an immersion, definitely go and check out Monica. She's doing fantastic. So couple of things we're going to be covering today on top of just really featuring some cool stories and ways that this technology can help you. We're going to talk a bit about what Soma Breath. So I saw a lot of you are new to the call, so we'll definitely go over the story here. We'll talk about some of the key technologies behind the method that makes it so powerful. And if you're looking to bring this to your client, we'll see the different ways that people can do that and how you can get started as well. I'll take care of a few housekeeping items before we get started. So I know some of you are wondering, okay, how long is going to be this session today? I'm expecting to be spending around 90 minutes with everyone here. So 60 to 90 minutes is what you should expect. Yes, we will have a replay, but there's going to be some really cool moments that we'll get to interact together, and I will have a really cool announcement towards the end. So if you have a chance to be with us for the whole time and be live, it definitely enhances the experience. But fear not, we will have a recording for those of you who need to make sure they step into something else. I totally understand. We want to be flexible and accessible for you as well. As I've mentioned, my name is Jason Mark Campbell. I'm a Soma Breath facilitator. I'll be the host for today. And really what I'm hoping for the people that are here, I want to make sure that you get to learn how to do this method. I'm going to give you a measuring tool for your own breath health, and you'll see the science that's behind this that makes it so beautiful. And if you've been looking for the right thing to make that leap or enhance the practice, I truly feel that here at Soma Breath, we do something special. I'm someone who's written a book around making an impact, increasing your influence, and when I decide what types of clients I want to work with, I really want to see where their heart is at. You're going to hear about the story of Niraj Naik, why he's created this method, and why I think it's so important for you to be able to understand the journey behind the brand if you want to be able to join the community, because it's such a beautiful journey of where, sometimes when life throws you struggles or obstacles, it seems to be the kind of mechanism that nudges you into what you're really supposed to do. And nothing is expressed as beautifully of that with what you'll see with Niraj. And if that's resonating with you, I think you're going to really enjoy the session for today. Final thing I want to say is that for some of you who will want to consider becoming instructors towards the end, since some of you have to jump at various times, I'll make a mention right away, but I'll keep this towards the end. We have incredible instructor certification programs, and we've certified over 4,000 people, whether they're becoming advanced instructors or transformational coaches, helping people in a group setting or on one-on-one. we're going to be making a special offer here, which is going to be for anybody who wants to become an instructor. Maybe it's the first time you're hearing about it. Maybe this is something you've been considering and on the fence and you've been looking for the reason to jump. Well, we're going to be making an offer at the end of the session today where we'll be slashing 25% off the price of all of our programs. And so if you're somebody who wants to make sure to save the link to be able to do that, I'll ask for the team to post that into the chat. This is something you can click on. It'll give you a chance to apply. And the way this works is we ask you a few questions because we want to get to know you to see if this is the right fit. We're in the business of making our instructors successful, and understanding your why is so important for us to see if this methodology will fit in your business to expand its services, or if this is going to be the right pivot for you. So allow us to get to know you by filling a few questions, and then you'll get to book a call with one of my colleagues who are instructors or facilitators who will be there to guide you around all the questions you might have around how does the program work, what are the next steps, and will it fit for you? They'll be sure to guide you through that. And this sale is going to be on and mentioned towards the end of the session here. But for those who are curious or want to make sure to save that link, it's been posted by Monica. And with that, I want to keep focus on the content so that at the end we'll speak about that again. And I think we're ready. So I'm going to ask for you guys now that the introduction and the logistics are out. Are you guys ready? And I'll give you two ways to acknowledge that. One, there's a beautiful react button right on Zoom. And this is something I'm always looking at while I'm presenting because I want to see what's resonating with you. If I'm seeing hearts like you're seeing the hearts right now, I'm like, all right, this is resonating and we'll get to go deeper. The thumbs up, all of that stuff. You guys can always use the react. And since I'm already seeing a lot of hearts, I think you guys get it. And final thing I will say, specific questions. I'm going to do my best to go through all the content so we get to have a learning experience. And for any of the questions you might have, I'll try to keep them towards the end, answer all the ones that I know will be applicable for the masses. But if you are asking any kind of questions that are specific for the instructor programs and for your specific journey, it's best to be done in a one-on-one fashion. So I'll try to always keep the questions that are going to be most relevant for everyone. Fair enough? Okay. So with that, let's get started. Look, for today, I want to cover the three major things around what is SOMA Breath, the three key technologies, and how to bring this to your clients. So the first thing is, what is SOMA Breath? Well, SOMA Breath is a methodology of breathwork. We've been around for over almost a decade now, and we've been creating breathwork events. We've been actually creating the technology, which is how to do breathwork sessions in a safe, fun, exciting way that brings results really fast. We have a few things that we have as mottos within SOMA Breath. One of them is that you shouldn't have to be re-traumatized to heal trauma. We've seen so many powerful breathwork techniques that exist out there, but some of them can be very powerful, but they can be very dangerous to use. And so in the way that we've designed our breath methodology has always been with a safety first and making sure that if you're going to be going through a healing journey, there are specific steps that you have to take to make sure that you're highly effective in delivering that transformation. So this is something that's at the principle of everything that we educate on. And the reason this comes with such a method is because of the story of the founder himself. Now, I have a very fun clip I thought would be the greatest way to introduce Niraj Naik. Who here is familiar with Niraj? If just type in a yes or no in the chat so I can see how many of you actually know about Niraj. But the reason he's not on the call with us today is very specific. Here's what's been happening. So what you're seeing there, who knows what's happening here? Some of you who are familiar might know exactly what event is happening right now. And for those who aren't, Niraj is a author of Mind Valley. He creates the breathwork course Quest that's part of the Mind Valley ecosystem, which is one of the biggest personal growth brand in the world. And he's actually leading some of the breath raves and events that are happening at Mind Valley University right now. And so what you're seeing him now is he's working as the DJ, but it's not just about creating a DJ set. He actually creates these breath raves, which are getting people to dance, getting people to move, but combining it with breath work to see all of the health benefits that happen. And Niraj was just telling me that people have been writing to him saying like, look, this is so incredible because there's a part of us that all loves being in a high state. I'm not talking about taking drugs here. I'm talking about being in an elevated frequency state. And what I think is one of the most beautiful things about our journey of what we create within SOMA Breath is that we're all about being able to allow people to have peak experiences by using nothing more than the power of the breath. Now, this is so profound because so many people feel like they have to reach out for something external to be able to get to these elevated states. But with certain breathing patterns, you can do something incredible. And since you can do that within these events, people continuously write. They're like, I've never thought I could have so much fun without taking a drop of alcohol, without taking any kind of substances. Even that in itself is such a cathartic experience that it becomes a healing in itself. And so Niraj has such a beautiful journey as to why music is at the center of Soma Breath. Because in his past, he actually was a DJ, but he noticed that there was some beautiful things at the music scene where he was creating these giant raves in the UK where people had a sense of community. The music brought people together, got them into a state of bliss. But there was a dark side as well, which was the substance abuse and all of the things that came negative within the culture of people that were going to nightclubs. And so there's a part of him that didn't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. The music and the community aspects were so profound into his own growth experience that these are things that he's retained as part of his core values and what he wanted to bring into Soma Breath. It's by no coincidence that you're seeing instructors on the call today that are always part of this community. They're joining the live sessions to continue their education, and we always see that being a core part of Soma Breath. And the music, one of the core things within Soma is we're always bringing so many tracks, new tracks at all times, so that you can create unique journeys when you go and create Soma Breath. Journeys, events, and classes. Like people that go to a Soma Breath class are like, wow, the music is so good. And that's because that is at the foundation of what was even the creation of Soma Breath. And so, for any of you who've been to ecstatic dances, yeah, there's a little bit of that, but we really have breath protocols that you can do within that space that are purposeful around elevating those kinds of states. But there were other parts of Niraj's story that got baked into why Soma Breath is a methodology that is highly researched. There's a lot of science behind the methodology because, well, at a later stage in his life, he was actually a pharmacist. He prefers to call it a legalized drug dealer because at the end of the day, a pharmacist is basically getting people's orders and giving them drugs. And there was something really weird about that because even himself, as he was doing this profession and he felt something was off, why were we giving pills for every little ailment when there were so many natural ways that we could actually heal ourselves? And as I mentioned earlier, the universe often throws things in your path to make you realize, oh, you might be on the wrong path. There's something to take from the current path, but you need to be nudged on another direction. And for Niraj, there's this expression that is called shit hit the fan. For him, it was a digestive condition that made it so that he had to come across a choice in life that would have completely changed what his day-to-day life would look like. I have difficulty pronouncing the condition because it's like osteocolitis. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with this, but it's a bowel irritation condition that seems to have very limited ways of being cured. And he came face to face with an appointment with a doctor who said, you have two choices. At this point, you might have to do a surgery within your colon. That will mean you'll have to walk around with a bag and you'll have to actually be changing the way that you are, using, your bowels. When they move, there will be a different process for you if we go down this path. And there was a second path that was proposed to him, which was you could take this experimental drug that's still in testing and it might produce some results for you in healing this condition. But again, this is an experimental drug. And Niraj felt so stuck in those two choices. And I don't know if you've ever come across a situation where you're just presented two choices and you start thinking, you know what? There's got to be another way. And you start going into researching. And that's exactly what Niraj did. And he came across the power of breath work. And when he started applying these alternative ways of healing the gut, he was able to make a different choice than what was being presented to him from the medical field. And he brought in the breath work. He was able to heal the condition. And the craziest part of this story is that he had a friend that had a similar condition. And he got a phone call to find out that that friend had taken that experimental drug and one of the side effects has caused him to pass away. And that put him in a state of realizing that as he discovered the methods around the breath and the healing powers that it had, he wasn't quick enough to be able to bring it to the people to realize that there is often a third way. And by introducing that, you can heal yourself in powerful ways that you never thought were possible. And so if you've seen advertising or emails from Soma Breath that are encouraging you to explore this method, that are telling you that we are looking for instructors to come and be a part of this mission to spread this natural medicine to the world, is because behind the passion of that is the story that Niraj himself has looked into the ways that bring a community together, bringing the music and seeing the power of the breath be brought together, creates incredible healing that the world needs right now. Can we all agree? And thank you, Terry. It's ulcerative colitis, correct. And can we all agree that the world is a little weird right now? And so it's by no coincidence that we want to bring this further more than ever. And look, this is a great story from Niraj, but I wanted to share a story from one of our trainings that somebody shared exactly what happened with her when she started doing Soma Breath as well.
Thing is what she did. So tell Niraj.
Yeah, go for it. I'm super excited to hear your story.
Well, in 2015, I had to give up work as a carer. I was diagnosed in 2016 with fibromyalgia, and over the course of 4 years after that, I ended up having other illnesses that seemed to sort of like want to attach themselves to me. I was constantly bleeding. I was diagnosed with menorrhagia. I was losing the use of my legs. I put on 4.5 stone. I couldn't go to the toilet. And in the end, I was vomiting my own feces. I was completely bed-bound. I was on 36 tablets. And in the end of 2019, I had a profound experience, near death. But the universe stepped in and saved me and showed me that I needed to learn how to heal myself. I'd already been doing some meditation because I hadn't been sleeping. So I was trying to get my sleep patterns back on track. And that was when I seen you on YouTube, you and Soma. And from that, I started learning from you how to do Soma. And within a matter of weeks, I started to sweat. I was waking up soaking wet in bed, and the smell was absolutely rancid. It smelled horrendous, and it was for about 2 weeks solid that I was sweating all these poison toxins out of my body. I was starting to open my bowels. Within a matter of months, I was able to come off half of my medication, and I set myself a target that by the summer of 2020, I would be off all of my medication. So I was, I'd lost 3.5 stone in the first year in weight, and by May last year, I was waiting for a wheelchair, and because I had lost the use of my legs, by the time it came, I didn't need it any longer. And that's all down to incorporating the Soma into my life. And obviously within a year, I was hitting milestones, I was walking, I was being able to implement exercise into my life. I weren't on any medication anymore. This year, I have lost 5 stone in total. I've been hitting more milestones again, and I intend to become a breathwork instructor as well with Soma.
Amazing. Beautiful story.
Now, this is crazy, right? Because we get these stories all the time. Like these anecdotal stories keep coming. We're doing the breath work, the results come. You do the breath work, the results come. And even from the call here, I know there's some of you who have been practicing Soma Breath and you started to see the benefits that come from it. And so when we start seeing what kind of things happen for people that are trying to deal with their stress, their anxiety, they're dealing with some conditions that they're trying to reconnect with their body, the breath becomes such a powerful tool. And the way you do it with Soma Breath is one of the best ways that you can really put the practice into the work. Now, I had one more thing I wanted to share before I'm bringing the next topic, which was...
Hi, my name is Dr. Veera Gupta, and I'm a sports chiropractor and functional medicine practitioner with over 18 years of experience. I use Soma Breath techniques in my office every day, all day. Most recently, just 2 hours ago, I took a single mom who was feeling overwhelmed, fatigue, stress, and a headache, and we did the Soma Breathwork Trauma Shake. Immediately afterwards, she was smiling, she was able to function. She's actually going to go work out at the gym, which she hasn't done in weeks. I use the slow exhale, either 2 in, 6 out, 2 in, 8 out, to use on children and people who have nystagmus. So let's say you're a little kid and you have problems where you've got big feelings and you need to get them out, or you don't know how, and you need to calm down, we teach you to breathe in through your nose and out of the straw. We also use that technique for anybody who is stressed out, angry, stuck at a red light. Finally, I use this for neurology as well. So my patients who have a problem called nystagmus, where their eyes go tick, 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 I can actually, if I have them do the slow exhale, their eyes can actually start to stabilize. And the coolest thing is on the breath holds, many times the nystagmus will completely stop. So you can use this breath work for anything from helping small children with big feelings to helping people with neurological issues. Is you're going to look at her pulse oximeter, and she's just going to go from lying down to standing, and watch what happens when she's not humming. So right now she's at 76 for a heart rate, and now she's going to stand up real quick, and we're just going to follow that pulse oximeter and see what happens. If she can stand up for me while humming, this will not change much for her. But when she stands up without humming, this thing is going to go through the roof. So we're going to start with her just humming. Now, understand something. It's not supposed to go through the roof from her just going from lying down to standing. That's why she has dizziness. What you're going to do is you're going to see her stand up in a second, and we're going to see what the pulse oximeter does. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Deep breath in. Yep. Deep breath in. Humming and standing. Now stop humming. So, when we don't have her hum, and we have her literally just go from sitting to standing, this thing will jump from 65 to 92. So if this is you, all you have to do is some humming. If you're interested in fixing this, Niraj Nayak, SOMA Breathwork, this is where I learned this.
This is why we cover a spectrum from people that are working in a holistic field and are looking to bring this practice to truly be able to deepen the practice with their existing clients and maybe attract some new clients, because breathwork is a really popular and up and coming modality right now. So I don't know about you, maybe it's because I'm involved, but it's by no accident. Like everywhere you look, it seems like breathwork is gaining popularity. Well, it's not just you, because you look at statistics from Google and you can see how it's been growing year on year by about 30%. More people are getting interested in this because the doctors are seeing what it's doing. The people in the cutting edge of the holistic space have already been seeing how this is going. And if you go back maybe 15 years, question, who here has ever done meditation or a mindfulness practice like by today? Just type in yes if this is something you've done before. Now, if I go back, let's go 30 years, and I would ask this question, who here meditates or does a mindful practice? How would people look at you? They'd probably raise an eyebrow being like, is that what monks do? And we've seen this trend in wellness where a lot of these ancient practices that didn't have a lot of the science behind it was actually being pushed aside, wasn't being considered serious. And then the science started to catch up. And so now when you talk about mindfulness and meditation, well, there's so many scientific papers that have come out and explaining its incredible benefits that everybody has had a chance to practice it. And you've seen it gain in big popularity. Breathwork is having that moment right now, which is exactly why we're like, hey, we need to find some people that can help us bring this to local communities. I was talking with an individual who she's currently a psychologist, and she works with her church group and some people that have PTSD with the military. And she has done a lot of talk therapy, but she's knowing that there's something that's not allowing them to be able to break through. And so she's going to be bringing Soma Breath as a methodology to allow her to break those barriers, because she's seen the science, she knows how powerful it's been for herself. So that's why there's this collective understanding that this is the direction that it's going. Now, I want to be able to get into the science so you get to understand what's going on here, because the science papers are coming out. There's even a specific science paper that's been written on Soma Breath's technique and how it's been creating the types of healing effects that some of the people who are using types of psilocybin or MDMA to be able to have transformational therapeutic results, they're seeing how using breathwork with Soma Breath is producing similar changes to the default mode network in the brain and being able to create this transformation into the habits at a deep cellular level without taking any substances. This is profound and it's so cool, which is why I want to make sure that you guys get to understand the science. So we're going to spend a few moments here and hear directly from Niraj as to what is happening as to making this breathwork so powerful.
You are within. So Ayurveda is the ancient Indian system of medicine. And here we look at the body as a whole. And there's no one size fits all approach in Ayurveda because it takes into account that we're all unique and individual. And I realize this is the mistake of pharmacy and modern medicine, is this blanket treatment as though everybody is exactly the same. And it couldn't be further from the truth. So Ayurveda in simple terms is based on 3 core principles. 1, you are what you think. 2, you are what you consume. 3, you are what you do. And that corresponds to your mind, body, and spirit. So you need an alignment between all 3. So the breath has something to do with each one of these. Well, first, let's talk about your mind. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your decisions, actions, and results in your life. And your very best thinking has got you as far as you are today. So in order to go to the next level, you have to upgrade the way you think. And your breath is a mirror of your mind. So it's by changing our breathing pattern. In a few minutes, we can actually change how we feel. You can go from feeling anxious and stressed to calm and balanced. That will then affect the quality of your thoughts, your decisions, your actions, and results. Number 2 is you are what you consume. Now think of all the things you consume on a day-to-day basis. You consume food, you eat, you drink, but you also read and listen and hear all different sorts of information continuously. So you're constantly being bombarded by information that you consume. And the quality of that will determine the quality of your thoughts, actions, results. But then the 3rd principle is you are what you do. And this is your life path, your dharma, your job, your career. Now, if you're spending 8 hours a day doing something you hate, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a miserable life. Now let's talk about your body. Your breath is responsible for every function in your body because of oxygen. Oxygen produces energy in the body in the form of ATP. It's what drives all the functions of your life. So if you're not getting that vital oxygen efficiently to every cell of your body, you're going to get sick. But here's the thing, with breathwork techniques, we can increase the efficiency of how we produce energy in the body. We can have more vitality. We can also improve oxygenation of our body tissue cells, which is where we need that oxygen to go. And oxygen is actually a double-edged sword, because you can't live with it and you can't live without it because of this one factor, oxidative stress. This is what makes us age. But the ancient yogis discovered that with simple breathing techniques, breath control, we can actually reverse aging. The way we do that is by becoming so efficient using oxygen, we hardly need to breathe. And in yoga, you actually measure lifespan through how many breaths per minute someone takes. Swami Sivananda, a famous yogi, said, you can measure how long someone's going to live by the way they breathe and the number of breaths they take per minute. If you want to live the average lifespan of around 70 to 80 years, breathe like an average human, which is like 15 to 20 breaths per minute. But if you want to live longer, you need to model animals like elephants, whales, turtles. They live much longer than human beings do, and they breathe much slower, around 2 to 3 breaths per minute. In fact, a whale can live over 200 years and hold its breath for 1 to 2 hours at a time. The animals like mice and rats, they don't live a very long time, maybe 1 to 2 years, and they breathe at 200 to 300 times per minute. So there's a real strong correlation between your breathing rates and how long you live in the animal kingdom. Now let's look at the naked mole rat, a strange anomaly in the animal kingdom that lives 30 times longer than a normal rat. Here's the difference. They live primarily underground in a hypoxic environment, a low oxygen environment where the CO2 levels are higher. And plus, they can hold their breath for 18 minutes at a time, and they live 30 times longer than mice and rats. Well, scientists have studied these creatures in a lab, and they found that they don't get diseases like cancer or diseases of old age like we do. And it's probably to do with this protection they have against oxidative stress. And there's a famous book called Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda. It talks about these famous yogis who live up in the Himalayas who have cheated death, become immortal, or live significantly longer than most human beings. In fact, if you go to India, up to the Himalayas, there's many legends and stories and proof of yogis living much longer than average humans. So what is it about the Himalayas? Well, the top of these high mountains, the oxygen level is much lower than at sea level. So this lower oxygen level may be why naked mole rats are outliving normal rodents, and why superhuman yogis choose to live up in the Himalayas. In yoga, one of the most important pillars is sound and music. And I started to research sound and music in ancient India. And I realized that we can create transformational music by mimicking what these ancient yogis were doing, but also combining it with a breath. This is what led to my development of the SOMA awakening technique, which is a system of rhythmic breathing followed by breath retention techniques and making sounds, humming, vibrating. This sequence started to become very popular. I started to share it places like YouTube. In the end, I caught the attention of someone called Wim Hof, who became a personal friend, and he's a living legend, a real ambassador of the breath and the power of the breath to transform and reach peak performance. So I actually collaborated with him and created the music, the soundtrack to the Wim Hof method. And now if you look at his YouTube videos, the one with 90 million views, his most popular video, arguably the most popular breathwork video of all time, has my soundtrack to it. And through Wim and seeing the effect of these breathing techniques on large groups of people, I realized we're really onto something. Breath is the medicine that we've been looking for. So I set upon myself to put as much science and evidence to these techniques as possible. And I also wanted to share the entire pharmacy breathing techniques and the most scientifically validated techniques with the world. But I also wanted to make those techniques more fun, engaging, and inspirational. And that's why I created SOMA Breath, the school, where we teach you all of these different pranayama techniques, but also with transformational music that makes the practices more fun and engaging.
Are you guys starting to see how all the pieces of Niraj's story are kind of piecing together into creating what SOMA Breath is all about now? And so you can see the science that's been put behind it and why we're approaching it in the way that we're approaching it to make our instructors very well equipped to be able to support people while they're going through either a healing journey, a transformational journey, so that you can bring your pharmacy of techniques, which are all the different ways to use the breath to bring the results for your clients that you're looking for. It's so powerful and you can measure its impact. Now, I've been talking for a few moments. I'd be curious if you guys would be open to trying an experiment that allows you to measure your breath health. Who would be down for a bit of a little exercise portion of the training today? Because we have a technique that makes it very easy for you to measure yourself and the quality of your breathing. As he's mentioned in the video, is that if you can see how you can moderate how your breathing is, how often you breathe, you can actually start having a gauge of your health. And so we have our medium breath hold times. Whoever's familiar with the technique, you can say, I know it in the chat. For those of you who are brand new to it, this is going to be super fun and very easy, and we're all going to get a chance to participate. So to be able to see how long does it take before you get your first urge? You know, when you hold your breath and at some point, if you're like underwater and you're really holding and there's like, you're holding it so long that you start going like, that's like that urge to breathe is like, and the first indicator that we want to pay attention to. So what we're going to be doing together is not doing a breath retention like I just did. We don't want to get to a point where we're like holding for the maximum breath retention of our lives. What we're going to be doing together is we're going to be taking a normal breath and we're going to be blocking our nose, holding our breath. And it's only when you start feeling that first urge to breathe, like the first moment of discomfort going like, yeah, I should probably breathe now. And again, we're not going for the hero's breath hold. We're trying to see how long does it take before that first like, oh, I think I really need to breathe. And we're going to get to measure it together. Are you guys open for that? I'm going to put a timer on the screen so you'll get to have it measured. And as soon as you take your first breath, you're going to be able to just throw it into the chat. And so what we're going for is, again, I don't want anybody taking a bunch. We're just going to be breathing normally. And then I'm going to count 3, 2, 1. And when I count 1, we're just going to be taking a normal inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And once the air is out, then we're going to hold and I will start the clock. Is everybody clear? Type in clear in the chat or use the react button so I know that you guys are ready and we're going to be doing this all together. And this is not a competition. Matter of fact, for most of us, we're going to be doing it wrong, but it's going to be fun. So let's give it a shot. And so we're going to count to 3 again. Just a normal breath in, full exhale. Not a big, no, Amir, you're not going for like a giant inhale. We're breathing normally here. Okay. So just breathing normally. And then at the count of 3, you're just going to take a normal inhale through the nose and you're going to exhale fully and we're going to hold. All right. So 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Fully. Whatever number you have, you can type it into the chat. But keep it more for yourself. I'd say write it for yourself because that's going to be more important. Now we might have some regular somies here who can do some pretty long holds. And this is a pretty cool way for you to do an assessment of how our breath health is doing. It's a rough estimate, but it's at least a metric we can look at and work with. And here's where I said at the beginning that this might be an experiment we're all doing wrong, is the way to actually do this. If you want to build a practice around being able to consistently measure how well you're doing with the breath, this is something you would do as a first thing in the morning consistently. Your breath retention hold times would modify and vary the further you are through the day. Like I'm doing this and it's 10:45 at night. Very different breath for profile than when you're fresh from a night's rest. It's also going to give you an indication of how good was the quality of your sleep. Anything over 30 seconds is a pretty good number. Anything below that, this is going to be something you're like, oh, maybe breath techniques will be a helpful thing for me to be able to develop. And again, this becomes a very cool tool to be able to use. By the way, just because there's a lot of new SOMIs, by the way, the clock is still running. Is anybody still holding their breath? Just checking, because this would be like the most hero breath retention. So I'm going to assume everyone is done and and then get back into the presentation. But I think this would be a really cool time because so many of you are new. Who here already has the SOMA Breath app on their device? Because if you are trying to do breath techniques for yourself, this is a really great way to get started. There's a free version, which is pretty good. And then you can actually sign up for the Breath app. And there's so many cool features that come with it, with all the different journeys for all the different intentions. And there's even, we just updated it, by the way. So if you haven't had a chance to try, I'll ask the team to drop a link. It's free to download, create your account, start it. There's a breath coherence room. We just launched this app like 2 weeks ago. And there's a breath coherence room. And when you go there, it allows you to go into a 5-5 breath count to be in coherence with every other SOMI in the world that is breathing with you. So when you do it, you're going to see everyone else who's breathing with you. And just as a fun heads up, this is just the phase one of the new app. We're going to be having a community aspect to it. And for all the instructors, it's going to be incredible. And so, yes, if you are already a big member within our instructor program, you get free access to the app. Just make sure to download it, get access to it, and we'll put a link up so you guys can get access to that. It's a really cool app, and this allows you to build your breath practice. And very soon, it'll be a way that you'll be able to work with your clients to be able to measure the difference of the work that you do with them and prescribe them some powerful protocols. So look, your medium breath hold time, this is a cool tool you can use, and it's just one of the many things that we share within the toolkit. I'm also going to ask about, for those of you who might have went through the 21-day awakening journey, which is the signature program for transformation we have here at SOMA Breath. And the reason I want to bring that up is because there's the fact that when we speak about why science is important, like we've been doing these 21-day journeys, which was a protocol for 3 weeks, which is really going to be allowing people to go through a deep transformation. Every week there's a group call, every day there's a practice, and it's bringing these breath habits in the process and then going on deep journeys once a week. And by the third week, you go into some really, really deep, powerful journeys that people at the University of Cambridge started being curious about it. And they made a study. So they made a clinical trial about what happens to people when they go through this protocol. And there were so many powerful transformative powers that were discovered by doing the 21-day awakening journey that they started to do the research. It got peer reviewed, and it's such a powerful alternative to a like for people who are looking for a non-pharmacological alternative to psychedelics to get therapeutic applications by using just the breath. So this is how powerful this method is. Now, I don't know if I feel like singing, so I'm going to do it. But you know that song that goes like, so why does it feel? So why does it feel? Why does it feel so good? I don't usually sing, so you guys can evaluate how good my singing was. I feel like it was all right, but who recognized the song, right? And the reason I bring it, I love that song too, right? It was in my head. And I was like, oh, this is the perfect song for what I'm about to talk about because that's a big question. Like, if you've ever went through a deep breathwork journey, like I'm talking about like a 40-minute plus journey, and you go into it, you do the protocol, and God, I remember I had a chance to do an in-person training with Stephen Whitney. For those OG Somies, you probably know who Stephen is. He's here in Bali with me, and he guided me through a session, and holy shit, like I was at the end of that session, all the stress and anxiety melted away. I'm sitting there with amazing insights, ideas, which were very business related, just coming to me with such clarity. And I was like, this is so nice. And I finished and I was like, I feel good. I feel amazing. What's going on? I have this flood of incredible thing. So the question again, and like, if you've went through a deep journey with Soma, you've probably experienced that. Those who did master your breath, I'm sure you've had downloads come to you by doing a 60-minute journey, right? So why does it feel so good? Well, it's very, we have a word for it. It's because you've received a dose of breath work. And this is the acronym that we talk about. What happens when you do a Soma breath journey is you release a dose, anandamide, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. These are the neurochemicals that are released by the different ways that we are using technology inside the Soma Breath protocol so that each of these triggers gets to be activated, and it's a cocktail of feel-good, focusing, incredible hormones, neurochemicals. And you'd often hear people speak about the flow state. And this is what breathwork allows you to reach in such a rapid way because all of these get released in the process of doing the Soma Breath protocol. And so if you're looking for that motivation, anandamide does that. If you're looking for that focus and that drive, that's how dopamine functions in the body. If you're trying to feel connected, love, and have self-trust, the oxytocin provides that. You're trying to find that calm, balance, happiness, serotonin is the neurochemical. And if you want to have that stress relief and high energy, endorphins provide that. So then imagine you have something that doesn't require a substance that can release each and every one of those. That's awesome. And that's a substance free way to be able to get high. And I'm not just talking about it from a fun perspective and recreational perspective, although you can use the breath, like in the breath race, to just have an amazing good time sober. But when it comes to a healing process, playing with these neurochemicals allows you to see new pathways, different perspectives, and it's so powerful. And so that's why our instructors are able to come in with a toolkit that is so powerful and brings results so quickly because it plays with exactly the neurochemicals you need to be able to create state shifts and profound transformation in people. Now, what are the main technologies that happen within a Soma Breath journey? Well, there's three major components: breathing in beats, neurosomatic programming, and intermittent hypoxia. Let's break these down and see exactly how these work together to create a powerful journey. And so, when we speak about breathing in beats, you've heard Niraj talk about it. All the ancient practices, ceremonies, music is always a key part of journeying because music allows us to get regulated. It puts us in certain frequencies. And it's one of the most tribal things that are a part of our human experiences is understanding music and how it makes us move and get into the right rhythms. Now, there's a nice little video here that explains exactly the power of the beat. And so I'm going to spend a few moments with you so we get to review that and get to talk about it.
The hardest part of breathwork isn't the breathing. It's holding a count in your head while your mind races. The moment you have to count seconds and track a pattern, calm turns into homework. And homework, we quit. But there's a shortcut your brain already knows. You can't hear a steady beat without moving to it. That's neural entrainment. Your brain locks its rhythm onto an outside rhythm, automatically without any effort. And it reaches your breath. Music can pace your breathing directly, a metronome for your lungs. And there's a deeper truth. Every rhythm in your body answers to one master rhythm, the rhythm of your breath. So which rhythm should you choose? The answer is hidden in the beat itself. 60 beats a minute. It isn't arbitrary. It matches a healthy resting heartbeat. The rhythm of life itself. Breathe to that beat, and your breath, heart, and nervous system fall into step, like one smooth wave. So the music isn't background. It's the delivery system for the whole practice. It even makes the work feel easier. Music quiets the brain's effort signal, so the same practice feels lighter. Change the tempo and you guide the journey, faster to energize and activate, slower to soften and rest. This synchronized approach is exactly why Cambridge researchers chose SOMA Breath for peer-reviewed study. And in a room, everyone entrains to the same rhythm, a whole group breathing as one. You don't count. You follow the music, and it carries you the whole way.
Who here ever had a chance to go to a physiotherapist to deal with any kind of like elbow pain, knee pain, any kind of like body condition that you needed to go see a physio? And recently I've been training for a lot of I like to do Spartan races, which is obviously me being a little crazy, but I like the challenge, and being able to accomplish that is something that keeps me sharp. But I've started having a bit of elbow pains when I'm doing like pull-ups. So I go to the physio, and I want to go to the physio, and I'm like, oh, he's going to make a bunch of things that's going to fix things for me. So they gave me a bunch of exercise, but there's the part of the physio you know is going to come, which is by the end of it, they're going to give you a set of things to practice on your own. And I consider myself a highly disciplined and motivated person, but oftentimes when the physio gives me a prescription, I don't follow through that much because oftentimes it's really boring and slow, and like I'm not that motivated, and I kind of fall off the habit. Now, if you had something that was really fun, addictive, and it was good for you, the chances of us carrying a new habit become way higher. And I think this is one of the cool things around how people practice Soma Breath and why it's so effective is because it's so fun at its fundamental basis. It's fun to do breath work. You have the music, it's done for you, and you have these great journeys so that people are excited about building the habit around breath work. When a lot of the practices, it's almost like you have to suffer, you have to have the discipline, but when it's fun, it becomes effortless. So for those of you who are thinking about how do I bring breath work into a way to bring results for the clients, you can deliver a powerful Soma Breath journey, absolutely. But to be able to get people to get into a cadence of practicing a certain breath protocol becomes the easiest habit for them to build because it's so fun in the process. So it's by no coincidence that the music plays such an important part, because you know that, hey, to build this, I get to listen to great music that's fun, that's exciting. And depending if you like the more traditional sounds or you like the more like electronic music types of sounds, there's such a variety available for every types of clients that come through. I personally do like the big bass beats that come from the EDM scene and get to breathe with it. And then I have fun, and it's exciting to schedule it. I do it with my wife. It's a good time. So this is really important, because if you're trying to create change and people aren't doing the habits you're prescribing to them, it's a problem. With Soma Breath, you're seeing the resistance just go down. And if it's smooth jazz that you want to use as the music, we have tracks like that too. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys something really cool. For those who aren't instructors, this is just a little sneak peek of what happens when you are an instructor and you're trying to pick the types of songs you want to use. So for example, for my instructors, I have already 424 tracks that are available, and I have another 264 for my advanced instructors. And I can choose like, okay, I want to have something that gives energy, maybe that's Latin, or that's empowering. And I have this one track I have right now, which is hyper. And I get to choose, do I want it with breathing sound, with male counting and female counting? So I'm going to go with male counting because I am a man. And I'm going to see that I can use that breath player. I can bring it to the count, which I know at 257. That's when the music starts. So I'm going to go here. We won't go through a breath journey, but this is the kind of tools that exist in the ecosystem so that whatever you're trying to create with your clients, you have a track that's available for that. This one was a 2-2 rhythm, very energizing type of practice to get people to get into a heightened state of awareness, super powerful. Yeah, these are some of the tools we give to our instructors so it becomes effortless for them to hop into a session and be able to use their own voice to create a powerful neurosomatic journey, which we'll cover in a bit. But first, one of the most important thing that is part of the Soma Breath journey is that we do intermittent hypoxic breath retentions. Again, who here has never done a Soma Breath journey? Like you've never done any kind of breath work. You came here because you're curious and you wanted to know a bit more, but this is completely new to you. If that's the case, one of the key principles, besides the breathing and beats that happen when we're going into a breath rhythm stage, there's a stage where we actually exhale fully and do a breath retention. And it's very interesting. When you do that, you get into a space where you're trying to hold your breath for as long as possible. It's very different than the exercise we just did. What we're trying to do is actually deplete our body of oxygen. We let CO2 levels rise. And the amount of benefits that come from doing that, there are machines that people pay tens of thousands of dollars to be in an oxygen deprived environment to be able to get some of the health benefits that you can do based on just doing a series of breath work. And I think the best way for me to explain this, if you've never done any kind of breath work, is to look at the concept of fasting when it speaks to food and what benefits come from that, and how there's a similar parallel that comes when you're doing it with breath work. So for people that are doing intermittent fasting, you omit eating for a period of time because you allow the system to get into a rest mode, not digest anything, get depleted of certain nutrients, and there's this kind of, what is it, this... I forget the word, where it's your body will basically start looking at the weaker cells within your body and will consume them in the state where you are fasting. And so, God, if somebody knows the word, it's slipping my mind right now, but it's this concept when you're atrophy. Thank you, Terry. So there's this atrophy stage where your cells start eating the weakest of the cells, and so the average health of every cell's in autophagy. Yes, thank you. Oh, we got a lot of smart people here. Thank you. your body starts consuming these cells. And so the average health of your cells starts going up because you've basically eliminated the weakest ones when you're going into a fasted stage. Now, what's very interesting is that if you want to turbocharge your mitochondria, the mitochondria is, for everybody who went to a school, you can type it in the chat because everybody knows this statement. The mitochondria, what is it? The powerhouse of the cell. Thank you, Jill. I knew somebody was going to type it. When you're doing these breath retention phases, in essence, you're going to be going in through a stage where you're depriving the oxygen for a lot of the cells, and so the strongest ones will thrive and survive. It reactivates the mitochondria, and it gives you these bursts of energy. And so we do these breath retentions. There's so many benefits that come from doing that. It's an increase in CO2, and it's one of the core things that happen within a breath cycle with SOMA Breath. So we have people breathing in beats. Then you do a breath retention on an exhale to create this intermittent hypoxic state. Then you take an inhale and do a breath retention with a pelvic lock, and it just brings a whole set of cocktail of feel-good emotions. A dose that we spoke about comes all the way to the top. And for those who've experienced the SOMA Breath journey, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And when you do this standard protocol, that's when you're getting all the health benefits. You're getting this improved focus, this surge of neurochemicals coming in. And so you're getting all these physiological benefits through the practice that implements this extremely powerful technique. Again, people are seeking how to amplify this benefit as much as possible, and you get to achieve it by doing a SOMA Breath journey in the most powerful way. It's one of the secret ingredients, and it's one of the things that when you do this, you start seeing the kinds of stories we're seeing regularly from people directly or people working with their clients, incredible transformational stories that come from just the breath. It's incredible, and this is what we want to spread to the world. But there's another piece of the SOMA Breath ecosystem that is one of the most powerful. Has anybody heard of the concept of neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP? Right? This one's a pretty familiar terminology within the wellness space, and it's when you use the power of language to create commands and understanding the power of language into getting you to respond, how you speak to yourself, how you can speak to others. Well, there are certain limitations with NLP that some of the deep trauma, the rooted emotions are so stuck into a physiological level that we need to find something that's even more powerful than NLP. And this is where neurosomatic programming comes in. This is what we use here at SOMA Breath, because when you combine the breath work, the music, and the language and guidance that you do in a session to create the intended results that you want to create for your clients, by using this in a powerful way, this is where you get to set intention, create results, and guide people into a intentional journey. A lot of my transformational coaches, one of the key things that they get in their tool set is working one-on-one with clients. They know exactly how to create personalized journeys for transformation for the specific goals people are looking for, whether that's reconnecting with their vision, having weight loss goals, having relationship goals, having financial goals. When you start working on the neurosomatic programming level, you create custom journeys for clients that really work on exactly what they're looking to transform in the most powerful way, and using the breath protocol. While you're breathing in beats, in the breath retentions, what exactly can you say to put this technology into use to accelerate results in clients? And a lot of times, this is really what we're trying to do, is maximize how effectively we can deliver results for people by using the power of the breath. So neurosomatic programming, breathing in beats, and intermittent hypoxic training are the three core elements within a SOMA Breath journey that makes it so powerful and creates these stories after stories of people that get a chance to create that for themselves or for their clients. I'm going to do a little check-in with you guys. Is this good so far? Are you guys learning a thing or two about how this works? For those of you who are completely new to SOMA Breath, this must be quite eye-opening. And for those who are familiar with SOMA, maybe you just came to Breathe Together Sunday, but now you get to have an understanding of what is behind this thing we do that works so good. We do teach our core methodology at SOMA Breath, but one thing you have to understand, for those who get certified with SOMA Breath, it's not about teaching you one method. It's about giving you a toolkit of everything within the field of pranayama so that you become a full-fledged breathwork instructor. There's a lot of places that just do a single technique, and it's supposed to be the cure-all for all. But there's so many people that come to us that maybe have been in an anxious state, and you go into a really hardcore breathing protocol without any warm-up, and it can re-trigger trauma and cause more anxiety. And that's the worst thing for somebody that's having a current state of anxiety. And so some techniques are more powerful for certain situations dealing with specific clients. And we make sure that you're equipped with the entire science and what prescription to give to people based on what they're looking to create. And there's so many ways to do this in different ways, which is whether you're looking to do sessions with a fitness studio and do some regular classes, work within your own clinic to be able to work with clients one-on-one. There's a lot of different ways to do this. And I'm going to showcase you some of our clients that went out there and started bringing Soma Breath into their practice to see if this is perhaps something you're looking to do. We'll talk more about it at the end of how you could get started, but I want you guys to hear from Mimi because she's an incredible instructor and what she's created in Austin is really cool. This might be a pathway that you'll want to consider as well.
Hi, my name is Mimi Dara, and I'm a level 2 SOMA Breath instructor. SOMA has been such a beautiful addition to my facilitation as a retreat leader, as a longtime yoga teacher, a meditation guide, and now a breathwork instructor and facilitator. It has given me a beautiful opportunity to connect with people on a deep level. And my specialty with SOMA is by bringing new people in. I really enjoy bringing people into a meditation or into a group setting who maybe have never done anything like this before, or maybe looking for a new way to be social but consciously. One of the biggest and most common feedbacks that I get after teaching a Soma Breath experience is that they feel like they meditated for the first time. And it's so amazing to see them drop into deep states of relaxation that don't just bring up feelings of sadness or grief, but also of joy and bliss and inspiration and hope. Soma Breath has been such a dynamic addition to my offerings that I have been able to reach people on a deeper level by using techniques such as intermittent hypoxia, which not just heals and fuels the body on a physical level, but what I love to see the most is to see the resilience and the emotional balance that it builds in the hearts and souls of my attendees. I give workshops and Soma Breath classes in formal yoga studio settings, in meditation centers, but also in festival settings where we get to pump up the music and add in live music, add in scents and other sounds, and create a full body sensory experience. I use the neurosomatic programming as a Soma Breath instructor to help my attendees understand how their brain and nervous system store their habits and emotional patterns. And through the somatics, we bring awareness to the sensations in the body to release any stored tension or trauma. By using NSP in my Soma Breath classes, I have been able to rewire limiting subconscious beliefs and habits, even in group settings. I have been able to restore balance in the autonomic nervous system of the attendees of my classes, of my retreats. And we have created new neural and emotional pathways through the breath, through the rhythm, and through the positive emotions that are created by this dynamic sequence. And we like to call this the neurosomatic state of flow, where we begin to harmonize the mind and the body. When I get to speak to my attendees after a class, I always ask them a word that might be on their heart, the first thing that comes to their mind. And most of the time, the words are peace, vitality, joy, gratitude, inspiration, hope, health, love, vibration. My attendees after a Soma Breath class have experienced feelings of pure bliss. They have created relationships amongst each other. And most importantly, after a Soma Breath class, they have created a deeper understanding of who they truly are and what they truly want. Thank you, Soma Breath.
And thank you, Mimi. Mimi's incredible. I had a chance to have great conversations with her, and she's actually going to be leading a live training in Austin, Texas. I saw somebody was asking about live trainings in the chat. We have a training happening in Austin, Texas. We have a training happening in London. The majority of our students go through a digital path, so they learn online. But for some people that want to go past their exam in a person, we have an event that happens in UK. We have an event that happens in Austin, Texas. And Mimi participates at this one, so you get a chance to meet her. She's been doing incredible And honestly, one of the key things I love from her story is because the way she gets to use SOMA Breath is because she advertises a regular class for SOMA Breathwork. People come for breathwork, people come for SOMA Breathwork, and this is where people get to discover what she does. And then she takes them deeper into her practice and all of her different offerings. And so if you're thinking about your way of using SOMA Breath as an instructor, this is really one of the most powerful things that you can do, is having a regular class where you're building a community of people that want to experience breath work, they're attracted to SOMA Breath, and they get to see an in-person session. And our team is constantly creating tools and assets for people that want to be able to go out there and advertise themselves. There's an entire business in a box element to the training so that you learn how to do the advertising of your first class, how to build the social, how to do the invitation. And just last week, I don't have the video here, I'll probably post it another day, but I was just talking to Kate, who went through a training with me where I was teaching them the art of filling up your classroom and selling yourself as an instructor. And she had so many blocks of like doing her first class. And I got to chat with her last week, and she got to share her first session that she did. She scheduled it in a public space, like a co-working space. And all she did was put up flyers with a QR code about her SOMA Breath session that she was doing. And she had like like people all showed up. I think it was about like 8 or 9 people showed up to her class, and she didn't know any of them. They were all they just came because they saw the posters and the flyers and they wanted to experience breath work. She put it up on Eventbrite, filled up the class, got to do her first session, and it was phenomenal. She was actually quite surprised because right at the end of the session, the people were so still and they were all in a, like she took them on a deep journey, and everyone was like, whoa, that was so powerful. And that was like the icebreaker for her. She got a chance to do that class, and I was so proud of her. And this is really what starts the momentum, because now that you've done this, you can continuously have this class happen. This is how Mimi's doing it. Kate started to do that too. And if you become an instructor, well, we'll give you the pathway so you can do that yourself as well. Now, for some of you are working in an existing practice, and perhaps you're looking at this at a more high level or a specialized level. Who here is familiar with Claudia? Claudia is one of our mentors. She's incredible, and her story is a little different than Mimi. And in essence, she uses SOMA Breath in a powerful way with a very specific group of people, and it's been allowing her to be able to create the transformation. So I want to bring her story up because you'll see how you can use these toolkits with your clients in a very different way.
Hello everyone, my name is Claudia Solis. I live in Chile in South America. I am 55 years old and I am a SOMA Breath mentor and Masterclass formation coach. And I had menopause using SOMA Breath. So I usually work with women navigating perimenopause, menopause, aging, women who are 50 plus, right? And the benefits that they're getting through this technique is just incredible. It's magic. Usually, some of the worst symptoms navigating aging is lack of energy, lack of sleep, lack of libido, emotions all over the place, right? Brain fog sometimes. So what the body is really doing is resetting, right? It's a resetting moment for you to become this different woman. But it can be a lot. It can be a lot if you don't have these amazing tools, for example, that is going to help you to feel more balanced. So the different techniques in SOMA Breath is not only about the rhythm that is going to help you to calm down your nervous system and activate your vagus nerve, for example, to have a healthier body. It's also going to help you to understand the process of being more efficient with your oxygen, using especially the intermediate epoxy state. That is the magic tool in this technique, right? Holding your breath, giving that beautiful molecules, oxygen molecules into your tissues and into your brain to activate energy, actually, and to activate your glands to produce beautiful hormones that we need, like dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. But at the same time, when you are doing rhythmical breathing with the beautiful music of SOMA Breath, there's another being in this movement, the vibration of the music, and using more tantric breath works with exhalation with sound, for example, is going to connect you with your passion. It's going to help you to feel and activate your sensuality, your libido, because listen, you are not dying. You have so many things more to do, to feel, to transform, to experience. So the rhythmical breathing with the music, with the beats, with intermediate epoxy, And then you can integrate also neurosomatic experiences, neurogenesis, talking to your subconscious mind with different ways, like color reading or visualization. It's going to help you to start thinking differently. And this is what really blew my mind, guys, because it's not only me feeling very healthy and with a lot of energy in my life right now, it's also that I change and transform my perception of life, thinking differently. Thank you for these beautiful techniques on neurosomatic programming. When I start thinking differently and my clients start thinking differently, what happens is that your life changes because you live what you think. So it's a holistic and beautiful way to help your clients to embrace the power within, your inner pharmacy, the SOMA, your mind, soul, and body together in one technique, in one rhythm, in one movement. So I cannot thank you enough to Niraj on creating this beautiful movement and this beautiful technique that is every single year being better and better and better.
I see already some people in the chat might have been mentored with Claudia, but she's incredible. And what she's been doing and an impact in her community is huge. And these are the types of instructors we're looking for that want to be able to speak to their community, to be able to make an impact. And we give you all the tools to be able to do that effortlessly. So if there's a vision or a passion of you being able to help a certain group, you see yourself being able to use these kinds of tools, we want to get a chance to speak to you and to see if these are the types of tools you would like to bring into your existing practice, or perhaps this is exactly the kind of methodology you'd like to shift into from your current corporate success and seeing how you can recreate that success within a field that is aligned to your purpose, that makes a positive difference, and is really making the world better one breath at a time. Yes, I love that line. Even though it's cliche, it's at the foundation as to why we do what we do here at SOMA Breath. And so I wanted to be able to cover a bit about what SOMA Breath is. I wanted to go into a bit of the science and the key pillars of what is behind a journey and how you can start using that within your clients. And again, we have some instructors that are using it within the medical practice. As you've seen earlier, you see particular groups of people like Claudia is working with peri and premenopause, current menopause women. We have people like Mimi that has built an entire practice with a yoga studio and enhancing her current offerings. And from a lot of you who have shared what you're currently doing, what you're looking to do, there's different ways you can do that. And one of the most exciting ways I'm seeing instructors have success is they're starting to get into corporate and companies and being able to offer them sessions of breath breakthrough to be able to do this within a company setting with their HR departments and seeing how it can create connection, create a binded experience with everybody participating. And so there's so many ways people are getting curious, are asking about. And one of the key things we do here at SOMA is we support the success of our instructors. So I wanted to share one more thing which allows us to paint a picture of what does the future being with SOMA Breath look like. If those of you who are interested in learning more about our instructor programs, I'll share more about that. But first, I think it'd be very important for you to understand what vision and direction SOMA Breath is going. And if you're feeling called and inspired to come along this journey with us, I'm going to share with you exactly the next steps you can take to be able to discover if this is the right fit for you.
So the future of SOMA Breath in the next 5 to 10 years is going to be through our SOMA Breath certified teachers, instructors, and coaches. I'm going to be working very closely with our most active and committed coaches and instructors to create destinations, retreats, community centers, clinics, therapy centers, to bring SOMA Breath to the communities. A place where people can do breathways and breathwork journeys in the most incredible venues with the most perfect sound systems, but also with biohacking centers and wellness facilities based on state-of-the-art technology and equipment. And I envision these centers to be centers of learning, transformation, healing, and inspiration. I also want to get SOMA Breath into a healthcare system like the NHS in the UK and through medical insurance in the US. And so therefore, we're putting more and more science to these practices, doing deeper and more profound studies. And as technology advances, we'll be bringing in tools like AI to create more customized approach to transformation. And we're constantly refining and developing the SOMA Breath app. The SOMA Breath app will be the home, the core destination for wherever you are in the world to plug in to our very active and engaged community, but also to practice in a variety of SOMA Breath techniques and our library of SOMA Breath journeys. Or why don't you find a SOMA Breath class near you through our Find an Instructor page. There you can actually find active SOMA Breath instructors doing classes in locations near you. You can also find events, retreats, festivals in one of these amazing locations like Ibiza, Copenhagen, Colombia. I truly believe that if you had a routine that you look forward to every single day when you woke up, that got you into a state where you felt naturally high, happy and healthy, you will have a much better day result. And this will have a ripple effect that spreads across the world and planet. So just by changing one breath at a time, we can change the world.
When the moon keep me up at night, I don't even put up a fight. I just keep on breathing, keep on breathing.
Now, what's very cool about this video I talked to you about the vision is that this video was just a few months ago, and you would have seen a version of the app that doesn't exist anymore because we're constantly innovating here at SOMA Breath. And as I've mentioned earlier, we have a completely new app experience that's allowing you to do a lot of your education, experience so much of our tracks, and build a breath habit right from the app. And what we're very excited to be able to do here, because we have so many people that are using this app and building their breath practice, the number one thing people are looking for is how do I find an instructor in my local area or that can deliver a session in my local language that can be there and available now that I've fallen in love with this practice. And this is where we're empowering our instructors to take up the mantle and be able to be promoted through our app. And so if you're joining in our instructor program, know that there's going to be so many ways for people on the app to be able to connect with instructors, to be able to attend your classes. And that means that we can support you in filling them up and making sure that you're being successful as an instructor. Because there's a few things we do extremely well here at SOMA Breath. Is we teach people extremely well how they can facilitate an entire class. From the moment people walk in, from the moment people walk out, that entire experience, we teach you how to make that an unforgettable event. We're extremely good at teaching our instructors how to lead the actual breath work. I live here in Bali where there's so many of these health and wellness centers everywhere. And I hear from people that they went to breathwork sessions when the person didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have any structure, but every single one of our certified instructors goes through a great training and a certification process so that you have the right tools. You know how to execute a session, what to say with the neurosomatic programming. We give you the music that has the counting and everything becomes powerfully structured. And if you decide to do a session without the music, you have the liberty to shape the sessions based on your level of experience. But know that every step of the way, we know how to train instructors to not just be breath instructors, but excellent breath instructors. And then beyond that, we have so many of the tools available for you to help people craft incredible lives and transformation in people's lives through our transformational coaching layer, which is really why we want to make an invitation to you if you are feeling inspired and would love to be able to come and be one of our instructors in the process. So I was going to ask, just with typing a 1 or a 2, who here is already in the process? You're like, I'm curious about becoming an instructor. This is something I'm considering. I would ask you to type in 1 in the chat. And if you're just curious, just type in a 2. But I'd love to ask your permission for me to share a bit more about what's included in the program and what's going to be expected if you're going to be going down this journey. And perfect. So I see that a lot of you. So this, I want to spend about 10 minutes here, and I'm just going to explain to you exactly what does that process look like. For those of you who are curious and like to jump the gun, we're going to put a link into the chat so you can see exactly what the programs look like. But I'll walk you through exactly what it means. So first thing is, if you come to the page, when you click the link, there's going to be a short video that explains to you exactly what is happening. And I mentioned this at the beginning of the call, and I'm going to repeat it again. We're doing an incredible promotion right now, which is going to be 20% off our programs. And to be able to join, you'll need to actually go in and apply and book your call as soon as possible, because we're going to see a lot of you are going to be taking up the slots with our team. And so the next step you need to do is you'll click on apply now, and you'll see that there's going to be a link that comes up. I'm on the wrong page. Give me a second here. I'll freeze this up so you guys know exactly where to go next. you're going to be taken to a page that's going to walk you through exactly the next steps. So let me just bring up the right page. Here we go. Aha, there we go. So when you click on this link, it's going to take you to this page where you'll put in your basic details. And the key thing we want to do is get to know you. This is a question I want you to spend some time on. What is your motivation to become a SOMA Breath instructor or transformational coach? Our team takes the time to read your answer here, and it really gives us an understanding of your why you want to become an instructor. And for us, this becomes the single most important part because we know that the strength of the why supports your success. And so we want to have a conversation about that. We want to see if whatever why and what you have as a motivator is a right fit to bring you into the instructor program. So please take some time on that question. And then the rest of the questions are just going to be around understanding your experience with SOMA Breath and what is it that you're looking to create. And it takes about 2 minutes to complete. And then you get a chance to book a call with one of our team members. The only thing I ask, if you are considering becoming an instructor and you do book a call, be sure to show up on time because we're going to be having a lot of calls and we're going to set 30 minutes for you guys to have that conversation with the team. So be sure to be there on time. We're going to take our time with you and we want to make the most of that time so we can ask you questions, get to know you, and see if this is a right fit. When you join the program, everything, like I mentioned, takes you through a pathway where we're teaching you how to facilitate, we're teaching you how to lead a breathwork session, and we're teaching you how to be successful into the practice. And we don't just teach you everything when it comes to being powerful as a breathwork instructor, but we also want to be able to teach you the business of breath. And so I've seen in the chat, some people were asking about, there was a mention of our Breathwork Instructor Global. Community is at the core of everything that we teach. And so to be able to bring our instructors together, to support each other, to exchange clients, to be able to see if they want to collaborate in creating events together, this is part of our Breathwork Instructor Global. And this is also where everything we teach around the business of breath sits. And so we want to make sure that you have the tools that are necessary for you to get the classes going, fill up these classes, and see how this can become something that becomes a fulfilling career and follow into the footsteps of the people such as Lisa or as Piotr or as Monica, who are going out there and have completely shifted their career into becoming breathwork instructors with SOMA. And we get to support them in their success as they continue to go out there and fill their classes and make an impact doing so. We have tools to make sure that you know exactly what to do when you get started to be able to host your first class. If you are motivated and you're ready to do this, you can have your first breathwork class scheduled within 30 days. Matter of fact, we're going to do something really special for everybody who is joining now is we're going to be doing a bonus call for everyone, which is going to be me walking you through exactly what do you do on your first week to be able to schedule your first live event, because we want to work with you in creating these events that are happening around the world. And so for those of you who are joining, by the way, one thing I didn't mention is I am somebody who trains people particularly on how to be successful in their business and how to be able to sell effectively and fill up their classes. And this is what I want to spend some time with you to be able to teach you effectively. And so we'll have a bonus class for everyone who joins on this week during the promotion so that we can make sure that by the time September comes, you already have a scheduled class ready to deliver a breathwork session. And so if you are curious and you want to go down this path, you can apply now. Our programs range from 2,000 to 6,500. And so these are for the full-fledged advanced instructor and transformational coaching layer. Now, if you are looking to just do breathwork sessions using pre-done SOMA Breath tracks, we do have a facilitator program that I saw somebody was inquiring about. And this is a very quick way for you to be able to join in the program, but not use your own voice in the process. You will use SOMA Breath tracks in the process. For some people who are in a different financial situation and want to get started, that is an available pathway as well, so that you can get started very quickly for just hundreds of dollars. But if you want to become a certified breathwork instructor and you want to be able to do this in a powerful way, using your voice and guiding these incredible sessions, when you apply, we're going to be able to walk you through exactly what that would look like and how you can get started. And as I just mentioned, we're making everything 20% off until the end of the week, or the end of the month rather, so that we can make sure that you get to claim a summer sale where most people in the summer are kind of disengaged and not paying attention. We want to grab the motivated people that know that if you spend this dedicated energy in the summer, you can be getting started by the fall, already certified at your first levels, out the gate, and creating your first classes and generating your initial income. And so we're super excited to welcome some new instructors into the process. So we'll make sure to answer any questions at the end of the call today. But I want to make sure for those who are exactly ready to take the next step and want to do this, your next step is pretty simple. It's going to be able to book a call, and we'll get a chance to speak with you and see how this can be a right match for you. And so at this point, this is the core of what I wanted to teach for today. I had a few cool stories of other people that came from, oh, have we been already filling up the times for the people that are looking to join? I'm going to have a look because I think a ton of you might have booked a lot of the available slots. So I'm going to take a minute here and just see if I can open up a few more slots for you guys. Because I know we have people in different time zones, and I can actually make a little, I didn't expect you guys to book all the availability so quick. Let me just see what I can do here to allow a few more of you to be able to book a call. What I'll do is I'm going to bring up the story of Brooke, because Brooke had a powerful transformation as well. And she's one of the people that is in Estonia with the SOMA Breath team right now. And she's leading some incredible events, but her story of transformation is extremely powerful. So what I want to do is be able to show you the story. It's going to be a few minutes. I'm going to go and open up the calendar for those who haven't been able to find a slot, and I'll have that opened up by the end of the story. And then I'll come back and answer some of the questions for everybody here who is curious about taking the next steps. And I would look forward to being able to welcome a ton of you into the instructor program. There may be a chance that you'll be booking a call with me as well, but honestly, it was my absolute pleasure to be able to educate you on SOMA Breath, and enjoy the story, and I'll be right back and answering all of your questions as soon as I open up a few more calendar slots.
Before I started SOMA Breath, I was actually in the corporate business, having quite a overwhelmed burnout lifestyle with a lot of anxiety, feeling lonely in crowds and not really knowing why I'm here, what I'm supposed to create. I hit a certain point in my life that I was like, I want to change this. I asked myself, if money and circumstances wasn't an issue, what would you do? Because I was unhappy at my job, and I tried a Breathe Together Sunday session. SOMA Breath offers a live community session every Sunday. The first time I tried it, I was instantly hooked. The music, which is all made in-house by SOMA Breath's incredible musicians and the founder Niraj himself. So music was one of the biggest aspects, and you know what, it never gets boring designing a session, because we have a huge music library that we can choose any kind of genres, from sort of, electro club vibes to Latin vibes to really deep meditation music. I'd also say SOMA Breath is beyond breathwork. It's actually a system. It's a lifestyle. So you can design your life using these techniques. So it's beyond breathwork. Nowadays, there's a misconception about breathwork that people think it's just trauma release, right? But it's much more than that. And with SOMA Breath techniques, you can apply to your everyday life. This is the key point, because by knowing how to use your breath, you can activate that inner pharmacy. You can give yourself that daily dose of feel-good hormones. So I was really approaching to that moment of deciding, I think I'm going to teach this to the world. Everyone has to know about this. Yeah, after doing 21-Day Awakening Journey, which is the flagship course of SOMA Breath, that is like a virtual retreat, that was a game changer. Everything shifted. I do something I love doing every single day, what makes my heart sing on a Monday morning, and getting paid for it is also incredible. Learning SOMA Breath has actually been super easy on the platform, because the content provided on the course is written and also video. So I mean, there is so much wisdom and information, from science to pranayama to specific techniques to release trauma, and learning so much about how we operate, our nervous system, how our brain works, how breath is in the center of everything. The bridge between mind, body, and the soul is explained so well in the course. And I found that SOMA Breath community really helped me with that shift. I felt held and supported and loved the whole time. There's never a silly question to ask. I'm not the most tech-savvy person, so, I could just ask anything in the community, and I'd always get an answer. I'd always get like a virtual hug feeling. You know that your breath is always there to support you. You're never alone. And this community is amazing. So if you're considering to become a SOMA Breath instructor, please do this. First, for yourself. Second, you need to spread this to the entire world, to millions, billions of people, so that we live in a more harmonious, accepting, compassionate, loving world, and we can do this together.
Interesting story about Brooke sharing this is that I was actually having the conversation with her as she was sharing this story. And there's a part that we didn't include, which was right after she said this, is she really started tearing up. And she was like, I remember, like, we both started tearing up because she was saying about how, like, she like the fact that she has clients that just have had such a profound transformation because of what she does. It has changed the direction of her life in such a profound way, and she was having that realization as we were having the conversation. And this is what we want to provide for our instructors, is that platform for that shift to happen. Now, when you go through the training, there is both a portion that is around you learning the skills that are necessary to become a incredibly powerful instructor, but there's also a journey that you're going to go do in your personal transformation. We've mentioned the 21-day awakening journey earlier on the call as one of the most profound journeys you can do in 3 weeks with SOMA that's being studied by Cambridge. And every one of our instructors goes through that protocol themselves so they can experience the transformation for themselves before they go out and be able to bring these methods to their clients. So it all works together so that you have a profound shift and transformation as you go through your instructor training as well. Dimensions of Breathwork Instructor Global. When you join as an instructor, depending on the tier that you join to, we included for a portion. Minimum is going to be a 3 months that you get it included as an instructor, but this will be all the business of breath elements and the continuing of your license. And so one thing to keep in mind is if you're keeping your license active, you're talking about a licensing fee to access big, which is $250 a year. So it's nothing crazy, but this is what continuously allows us to bring new music to you, continuously create new material, and have mentor calls and support live calls that happen regularly so that you can continuously be active as an instructor and be a part of the community as well. The training itself is being delivered mostly through the online portions, but you get to customize the journey based on if you are someone that is excited with the available time to really be able to go through the modules and host your first class as fast as possible, or if you want to be able to do it in parallel with your current work. There's a lot of flexibility built in. And for some of the people that are looking to do this practice, the first step that happens when you sign up is you actually have a one-on-one call with a mentor, and you get to schedule out what kind of learning pathway you want to have. And so you have that conversation with your mentor. Claudia, which you've heard her story here, is one of those mentors who will be able to walk you through that path. You choose the moments you want to have your mentor calls that happen on a one-on-one basis. So you get to choose your time based on your time zone and the availability and preference of which mentor you want to work with. And then we regularly have calls that happen at various time zones, various times of the week, to practice as a breathwork instructor, to come and ask questions. And for those who are at the transformational coaching level, you even have some masterminding with Niraj. If any of you are even curious about getting mentored directly with Niraj, there is an option to be able to do that. Discuss with your with my colleague that you'll be booking a call with, and you can ask them about what is available if you are looking to work directly with Niraj. He always takes a small group of people this year, starting in September, where he works with them personally to truly bring them to the master transformational coaching level. And so simply ask about it and add it in your notes when you apply if this is something you'd be interested in exploring as well. And so I believe this is the core of the content I wanted to discuss about. We've put in the links for you guys to be able to explore what the programs look like. I wanted to see if there were any questions that I think would be quite useful for everyone else. So I think I have a little nifty tool for anything you've posted with the question mark. I think it surfaces to me as a question. And so I'm going to go see if that is working. And nope, I'm not able to pull that. So I'm going to go into the chat right now and just see what is happening. So for those of you who are, for those of you who are wondering about the recording, we will have that sent within about 24 hours. And so, yes, there's some of you who are asking about the facilitator program. I'm going to make sure there's a link for those who want to do the facilitator direction, which is using SOMA Breath tracks, our pre-recorded journey, and we teach you everything around facilitating a room in a powerful way. And so if you're interested in that, you can also talk about it on your vision and flow call. But we also had some details that were shared with people when you registered for this event. So if this is something that you're interested in, I'll put a link right now, and this will be a place where you can read more about it and get started. It's basically the first step in the journey where you can get started very fast and you get a chance to be able to use our journeys in a powerful way to create the transformation. So I have the link here. I'm going to share it here. And right now, that program, so facilitator, I'll drop it right here. All the details about the facilitator program you'll find in the link that I just typed in, which is called Facilitator, and it's currently at 50% off. And so you can join that for $250. If you want to schedule a call, just fill up the application on the link that Monica has shared. And that's where you fill in the application. You get to book a vision and flow call. And again, on that call, we'll discuss about what you're looking to create as a breathwork instructor, build a learning plan, and see if this is a program that's right for you. And this is what we're offering at 20% off across the board. So just go ahead and click on that link that Monica just posted up, and that will be where all the information about our instructor programs are and how you can book a call. Anastasia is asking about the prices at different level. The regular prices are $2,000, $4,500, and $6,500. And depending if you want to add in a live training component, which is usually about $1,000 add-on. And again, book that vision and flow call so you can have conversations, because I've seen some people asking, what if there's, are there any financing options available? We do have payment plans available. Discuss that on your vision and flow call. We also have platforms like Affirm for Americans who are looking to use the buy now, pay later options. So all of that are things that you can discuss on the vision and flow call if you found which program is the right fit for what you're trying to achieve. Again, this is how we guide people to be able to get the clarity on what is a right fit so you can be successful with the right tools based on what you're trying to create. A big difference that people look for is like if you're looking to work one-on-one, or if you're taking people on these deep emotional transformational journeys, we have to make sure that you've learned the science and that you are trauma informed, because we're going to give you some very powerful breathwork tools. We want to make sure that you have the right knowledge and ways of dealing in situation when things come up. Again, we are here to professionalize breathwork instructors. So it's very important for us to make sure that those who are going to be doing people going on deep journeys, that you have the adequate training. And so let's see. For some people who are asking who want to do an upgrade, so if you are already a facilitator and you want to do an upgrade, again, when you book your vision and flow call, if you're already a facilitator, just mention it to the team. We're doing a promotion until the end of the month. So the best thing to do is to book that call and just explain to them your existing situation. For those who are existing instructors who want to become transformational coach and want to take advantage of the 20% off, we're going to be able to pull that together for you as well. So when you book a call and fill the application, just explain your situation fully. And we're extremely fair for allowing for people to do upgrades, because our key thing is for those who are motivated and want to do this, we want to see where we can meet you financially and where we want to meet you for the goals you have. And this is why a conversation is so important. So for those of you who are facilitators who are ready for that upgrade, just go ahead and book that call and they'll walk you through that process and make sure that you're guided in the right direction. Let's see. Yeah, that's. I think I answered that. Sonia, I see you were really excited about the facilitator program. I've sent you the link. More slots were added for the appointments, so you should be able to find some appointments. Let's see. No, Sonia, you don't need to book a call to join as a facilitator. You can just get started. So when you go on that, you can start as a facilitator. You'll jump right into the training, and you'll be able to complete that relatively quick. I would assume if you're motivated to host your first classes, you can complete that training within a week, and then you'll be able to be up and running. And you'll see it's a program that we recorded. It's extremely professionally designed to make sure that you are well trained in how to bring people together, form a community around the breath, use our tracks for the right intents, and then that will make sure that you are set for success. So Terry, if you're looking to become an instructor using the power of your voice, go ahead and apply to become an instructor. What Sonia was speaking about is our facilitator program, which is our entry-level system where you don't use your own voice. You're using our guided sessions with our tracks that we've created with our instructors. Here's one of the things: as an advanced instructor, you get to create your own tracks. And if you want to be able to do that, you come to the advanced instructor level. If what you want to do is just use the pre-recorded tracks and just press play and you guide a session, the facilitator program will be adequate for you. Keto, you can pay in installments for the facilitator program. But on the page that you're going to look at, because it's at 50% off, that'll be the lowest price for you to get started. And so usually you can pay $95 for 6 months, but that becomes double the price of the current promotion. So I would definitely encourage you to use the promotion link that I sent to you. Everything about booking the call should be at the end of that survey. If you're having an issue, Asmir, I'll have a look with you. It could be some cookie issue, and I'll make sure to have a look at that. So just stick around. I'll make sure to troubleshoot that for you, because the book a call is on the last page there. I've seen people booking calls right now, so it might be a local issue with the calendar booking. So I'll walk you guys through what that process looks like so you can see exactly what to expect. So, oops, I was here on the page and I click on apply now. And then as I click on this, it asks about your motivations. And here I'm going to say testing for the group. And we're going to put the United States. Manager at SOMA Breath. And just let us know when you're looking to begin. So for those who are ready ASAP, and then you put in your phone number. And then we want to know how much experience with SOMA Breath, so regular practicer. You let us know how much you're looking to invest, so we get a chance to see which of the programs will fit within your current budget. And from there, you just hit, we just asked you where you heard about SOMA, and you could say, I'm on this incredible webinar. And then when you hit submit, it will take you into your booking area. So right after hitting submit, this is when the calendar will pop up. You'll be able to choose your time zone and choose the time that makes most sense for you. So we have some available dates on the 29th and the 30th. And if there's any other times that do not work for you, you can always click here to tell us when you're free. And we're going to try to find somebody that's in your time zone to make it happen. So Amir, I hope that clarified. Were you able to follow the same steps? If that didn't work for you, then there might be something technically happening on your side that we're going to need to troubleshoot. I just ask you to write to support@somabreath.com, and we'll try to figure out what we can do for you to give you that direct booking, and we'll jump on a call with you to figure things out. Cool. So Amir, maybe there was just that last question I had to say thank you. Ezra, you've asked questions via email. I do know right now we've received a lot of emails. So usually our team takes about 24 hours to reply. If you still haven't received an answer, know that they got, and make sure you've sent it to support@somabreath.com. Usually we answer within 24 hours, but I do know the team got like 2 times more tickets this week. And so they might be a little slower on getting that. back to you. But they have received your ticket. If you haven't had a reply, feel free to just bump it up. But I know the team is on the call right now. They're going to particularly look for your ticket and make sure you get that response pretty quickly. Yeah, for those with the app, I see again the support team is supporting you. And right, Ezra, I can give you the real difference between a facilitator and a level 1 instructor. It's really about using your own voice in the journey. So for those of you who are joining as a facilitator, we teach you how to welcome people into a room, how to build a community, and you get to use SOMA Breath tracks as the way of delivering the SOMA Breath journey. So imagine having the toolkit to bring the people together. And this is what I do, which is I bring people together and I say, let's all breathe together, and say I take them through the limitless the Themba Limitless track, which is one of my favorite tracks that I love to play. This is a journey that's done by Niraj, has the neurosomatic programming built into it. All I do is press play and I play the music and I bring people together for a breath session that is being led through a pre-recorded track. And so it becomes very easy to be able to deliver a consistently high quality experience using the tracks we've already created for our facilitators. And if you decide to go to level 1, this is when you become a breathwork instructor. So this is where we teach you how to guide breathwork sessions. So how to use your voice in a session where you will play music with accounting and all the protocols built in, but you'd be using your actual voice to lead the session. So if you want to be able to create mind movies, to be able to take people on specific journeys, and you want to be able to be a breathwork instructor that uses their own voice to be able to create unique experiences and live experiences, that is an instructor level. Ezra, does that answer your question? I see a thank you, so I'd assume I've answered that. I think Prabha probably tuning in from a late hour as well. So good to see you. And with that, I think this is the end of our session together. Once again, look, we wanted to do something really special for you guys to talk about why is it that people are able to use a tool like SOMA Breath to be able to have an advantage in their practice. You've seen the results that it can provide for people. You've seen the technology that exists behind the specific SOMA Breath protocol and everything that we're doing as a team to be able to bring you the tools that are necessary to make you an excellent breathwork instructor. And by using SOMA Breath's journeys and learning the toolkit that we have within SOMA Breath, you can be ready for every situation that you bring clients through a powerful transformation and be able to do it in an effective way. And so any questions you might have specifically for the instructor levels that you're looking to participate in, fill the application, book the vision and flow call, and we're going to spend some time with you to be able to answer those so that it's very, very specific. And I believe that's all the questions we have now. So I'll go in. Amir, is the big for 6 months even for instructors? Big for 6 months if you become a full instructor, an advanced instructor, and on the call, they're going to explain to you the differences between all the tiers. So we just explained what they need to do with facilitator. Ezra, I think I answered this question. Awesome, Justna. We'll see you on the call. No worries, guys. Amir, I hope I answered your question. Ezra, basically I was saying a facilitator, you're using pre-recorded track with somebody else's voice. And as an instructor, you're using your own voice. And you're being able to learn how to be a breathwork instructor yourself, not just facilitating the session. So if you're somebody that's just looking to press play on tracks and bring people together, facilitator might be all you need. But if you're looking to develop yourself in a profession of being a breathwork instructor and learn how to lead breathwork sessions, then you want to go down the instructor path. And this is where we want to have a conversation with you to see if there's a right fit and which program would be a right fit for you as well. Does that make sense? I think so. All right. Sonia, do we share the science in the facilitator path? Yes, there's some basic science that gets shared in the facilitator path. Now, when you go down the path of becoming a breathwork instructor, we have very deep, specific modules around the science of breathwork that makes it so that you're very prepared to be an instructor. Like it's a full-fledged training in breathwork and the science of breathwork. But in the facilitator training, there's going to be some basics of science that you need to be able to successfully explain why you're taking people through the specific journeys, understanding how to use the different tracks that are available to you, And so you will get an introduction to the science. There is modules on that as well. But if being very versed and going deep into the science is what you're looking for, then going into the instructor level is really where we go the extra mile to make sure that you are very well versed. There's an entire module that's just dedicated to understanding the science behind all the different breathwork techniques, because you'll have a lot more flexibility when you start leading sessions. And we want to make sure that you're well prepared and well equipped. Yes, we do get a dance track with Facilitator. You get I Love My Life, which is a signature song that we have. And when we started the session, I was playing We Are a Tribe. I'm going to probably play it as we close out the session today. So I think that might be the best way to end this, by just saying thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I'm very excited to hear about some new instructors that might be going in. And I'm going to make sure that we end this on a beautiful dance track as we close this off in a beautiful, powerful way. My name is Jason Mark Campbell. It was a pleasure to be your host for today. And since I saw it as a request, we're going to go into I Love My Life and make sure we get to play this out as a powerful exit for today's session. Much love, peace, thank you. And we'll put a link so that you guys can join on our instructor program. Know that everything is 20% off, and we'd love to see you on our community leading breathwork sessions.
I love my life. 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 I love. That's right. love my life. I love my life. That's right.